The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. We're following some breaking news from overnight. Bakersfield Police are investigating a shooting with multiple victims with major injuries in East Bakersfield. Officers were called to the area after 2 a.m. to East Truxton Avenue and Robinson Street. No further information available at this time, but we do have a crew on scene working to learn more, and we'll bring that to you as soon as we learn more.
5:02 is our time now, and the First Lady will be arriving in Bakersfield this morning as part of her final stop on a 3-city tour. Dr. Jill Biden will arrive at Meadows Field at 8 a.m., and that's where we find 17's Chris Burton live this morning, awaiting her arrival. Chris, good morning.
Alex, good morning to you. Yes, we are still a few short hours away from Dr. Jill Biden touching down right here at Meadows Field. She'll be headed up to Keene this morning to oversee a naturalization ceremony just ahead of Cesar Chavez Day later this week. You might remember she did the same thing or a similar thing last year on Cesar Chavez Day, participating in a day of action right here in Bakersfield. But if you are on the roads this morning or planning to be, this is definitely going to affect your morning commute. We still have yet to have confirmation on where the motorcade is exactly going to take place, but judging by the map, if she wants to avoid surface streets, they'll probably take the 99 south over to the 58 east up to Keene. Now, this is going to cause significant delays because the Secret Service has to get ahead of that motorcade, sweep the area to make sure it's clear for the motorcade to come on through. So if you're traveling or planning on traveling anywhere along that 99 or the 58 east, anytime between 8 and 10 a.m. this morning, I would say expect significant delays. And of course, as Kevin mentioned, we're seeing that wind and the rain is probably going to come in as well. So it could make for some very hairy conditions this morning. I would say avoid those areas if you can. We'll have much more on Dr. Jill Biden's visit later on in the show, but for now, live at Meadows Field, Chris Burton, 17 News.
Chris, thank you. And a massive inferno ripped through a multi-million-dollar home in Southwest Bakersfield over the weekend. Take a look at this incredible video. First responders say it happened just before 11 p.m. on Buena Vista Road, just north of Taft Highway near Independence High School Saturday night. You can see city and county fire battling the flames as smoke billows into the air. Real estate site Redfin says it's an 8-bedroom, 11,400 square foot house on 19 acres. Redfin says the property's worth about $1.6 million. Zillow places the value at $4.1 million. No word yet on what sparked the fire. We'll keep you updated as we learn more information.
Bakersfield Police say at least one person is dead after a shooting in South Bakersfield early yesterday morning. Officers were called to Lotus Lane near Bradshaw Street just after 1 a.m. When they arrived, they found at least one person suffering from gunshot wounds. It's unclear what led up to the shooting, who was involved, or whether the victim died at the scene. BPD has not released any information about a suspect, and the investigation continues. If you know anything about this shooting, you're asked to call police at 327-7111.
And Bakersfield Police are asking for help finding a missing teen they say is at risk. This is 14-year-old Ariana Perez, last seen Saturday on White Lane just west of Weibel Road in Southwest Bakersfield. Police say she's 5 feet 4 inches tall, 210 pounds, with long, light brown and green hair and a nose ring on her left nostril. She was last seen wearing a black t-shirt, gray sweatpants, and black Nike Air Force shoes. Police say she's at risk due to a medical condition. If you know anything about where she may be, call BPD at 327-7111.
One person was arrested after FBI investigators joined with California City Police digging for evidence at a home on Friday. California City Police Chief John Walker made one thing clear. This is not in connection to the West Boys case, but a case that has gone cold. 17 News confirmed with Sherry Smith, mother of Desiree Thompson, who's been missing since 2012, that it is in regards to her daughter's case. This video is from Friday, and it shows heavy police at a home in the area of 87th Street and Lime Avenue in California City. The FBI was also there gathering evidence. Police confirm they found unidentified human remains in a shallow grave at the home on Friday morning. Soon after, Police arrested one person on California City Boulevard near New Orleans Road and booked them into the Kern County Jail on suspicion of murder. First responders have not identified the person arrested. Chief Walker says they received credible information to obtain a search warrant to look for evidence inside that home. But there are several cases that have gone unsolved for many years.
What I do want to definitely stress is this has nothing to do with the West Boys, which has been a major case here in Cal City as of recent, and has nothing to do with the occupants of this residence. These people are good people. They just happen to be in a location of where we believe a crime occurred several years ago before they ever purchased the property.
The missing case of Desiree Thompson has been a head scratcher since she was reported missing January 2012. Her husband, a person of interest in this case, has not been located either. Again, the identity of those human remains have not been confirmed, but we have confirmed this is in connection to the Desiree Thompson missing persons case. We will continue to update you as soon as we learn more.
5:08 is your time now, and now an update about a plane crash in Mojave that happened Saturday. First responders were called to Oak Creek Road near Holt Street around noon, just west of the Mojave Air and Spaceport. According to the FAA, a single-engine home-built Varese aircraft went down after the pilot reported an engine problem. 2 people were on board. The sheriff's office says both survived, and emergency crews rushed them to Antelope Valley Hospital with just minor injuries. The National Transportation Safety Board will investigate the crash.
Well, like we just mentioned, First Lady Jill Biden will be arriving in Bakersfield in a matter of hours for her final stop on a 3-city tour. And because of the timing of this arrival, it means that your morning commute could be impacted. Joining us live this morning from Meadows Field is 17's Chris Burton. He is waiting her arrival. Good morning, Chris.
Well, Alex, that's right. Dr. Jill Biden's arrival is exciting, but it also probably couldn't come at a worse time if you're going to be on the roads this morning. Now, as we just mentioned, this is Dr. Biden's second visit to Kern County. The last one was on Cesar Chavez Day last year. She is arriving to take part in some naturalization ceremony and Cesar Chavez Day festivities this year as well. She's headed up to Keene. But of course, this means that there will be a presidential motorcade, and this probably means that your morning commute is going to be affected. Now, we're still waiting on confirmation as to what route exactly that motorcade will take, but in all likelihood, it's going to take the 99 southbound to the 58 east up into Keene. So again, expect delays if you're going to be taking these roads this morning. Secret Service has to get in there and sweep that entire route before the motorcade goes. So you're going to look at some pretty serious delays. And of course, as Kevin was just talking about, we're going to have some rain. We're already seeing the wind here at Meadows Field. So it's all going to amount to some pretty messy conditions on your morning commute. My best advice, avoid the 99 and the 58 if possible. Take surface streets if you can, because again, all of that route is going to be pretty much blocked off. We'll have much more on Dr. Biden's visit to Kern County, but for now, live in Bakersfield, Chris Burton, 17 News.
Thank you, Chris. Your time is 5:35. California gas prices continue to hit record-breaking highs daily. This comes as the national price for gas has declined the last few weeks, and state leaders scramble to come up with solutions. The statewide average gas price set a new record Friday at $5.90 per gallon for regular unleaded, according to AAA.
California has suffered the fate of several refineries in Southern California that have had issues arise.
Gas Buddy lead analyst Patrick DeHaan says this issue that essentially has led to a drop in supply of gasoline supply to the markets affecting the West Coast and contributing to California's gas prices, while the national average has fallen since March 12th. He says filings with federal authorities show the refineries have had flaring events when they burn off excess gas. DeHaan says if the wholesale price declines and a gas tax holiday is approved, prices could go down. But if markets are volatile and the wholesale price shoots up, drivers wouldn't see much of a change because it would be offset by the tax. For now, DeHaan says he does not expect the $6 a gallon price tag to stick around.
Now to the coronavirus, and numbers are down locally as we move from pandemic to endemic, according to health officials. The Public Health Department now releasing data just 3 days a week. That is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Data shows an average of 107 people caught the virus each day. Data was given. An average of 39 people were in the hospital with more severe symptoms of the virus. 9 were in the ICU. Public Health reported 35 people died from the virus.
Thousands of people have lost loved ones due to COVID-19, and a memorial in their honor was unveiled in Northwest Bakersfield over the weekend. 17th Marco Torres has more.
The COVID-19 memorial brought hundreds of people down to American Fabrication, where they paid tribute to their friends and family who passed away to COVID-19. It was a gathering of people all still grieving the loss of their loved ones to the pandemic. American Fabrication owner Kevin Russell came up with the idea to build the memorial.
So I asked my guys, I said, what do you think? Do you think this is over our head? And they all said, no way, we're going to do this. It took about 2 months to come up with design, 2 or 3, and we come up with this design.
Families placed flowers along the memorial as well as held crosses and images of their loved ones as they touched the names on the walls. Nelda Gonzalez lost her sister and 2 brothers to COVID-19. She came to the memorial with the rest of her family to pay tribute to her 3 siblings.
It means a lot. It means so much, and it's heartbreaking. You don't want your name on that wall, but I'm glad that somebody's doing something about it. We just need to be more careful.
Russell says the memorial will stay up for the public to view while his family runs the business. In the future, the memorial could be donated to the Kern County Museum, but for now, it'll be open anytime for people to view.
24 hours a day. It's never had any problems out here. It's very well lit, more light than we actually needed. It kind of blinds you.
The COVID memorial is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Now, if you'd like to get a family or friend's name on the wall, you can find those contact details on our website at kgt.com. In Northwest Bakersfield, Marco Torres, 17 News.
5:38 is our time now when runners hit the streets of Bakersfield this year for the Bakersfield Marathon. It happened yesterday. The race took over large parts of Bakersfield, causing streets to temporarily close throughout the day. Within an hour, runners began to finish their races, got their medals, and took a break at the end. In less than 3 hours, the first marathon runners finished the race, and some were exhausted.
Just full body cramps, I want to drink some more water and eat some food.
Pretty good, I feel tired, I'm fine. I just ran one 2 weeks ago too, so I'm okay.
Segura, who ran more than 40 marathons, says that this was the first time the Bakersfield Marathon had been able to race in person since the pandemic. Let's take a look at what's happening around town this week. And today, as we've been reporting, Jill Biden will be arriving in Bakersfield this morning as part of her final stop on a three-city tour. Tomorrow is National Vietnam Day. The Portrait of a Warrior Gallery invites the public to the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans event. It's from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. at 1925 I Street. And then on Wednesday, the Bakersfield Museum of Art is hosting yoga at the museum from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Then on Thursday, check out Art Mix, a curated cocktail party at the Bakersfield Museum of Art from 7 to 9 p.m. And then on Friday, the Kern County Career Expo and Symposium are hosting a career fair at the Career Technical Education Center in Southwest Bakersfield. Then on Saturday, the City of Bakersfield Animal Care Center is hosting an animal clinic from 9 a.m. till noon at Bill Park on Oleander Avenue. Then on Sunday, the CSUB baseball faces off against Cal State Fullerton at 1 p.m. Welcome back. 5:19 is our time now. 9 words from President Biden are drawing criticism around the world.
President Biden says he was not calling for regime change in Russia after saying Russian President Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. NBC's Bree Jackson's in Washington with the latest.
Good morning, Alex, Maddie. President Biden has stepped up his criticism of Vladimir Putin in recent weeks, and some fear that the president's recent comments could further escalate tensions with Russia. President Biden says he's not calling for a regime change in Russia.
Mr. President, were you calling for regime change?
No. After making this comment about Vladimir Putin during a fiery speech in Poland Saturday.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken reiterating the administration's stance.
We do not have a strategy of regime change in Russia or anywhere else for that matter.
Republicans warn the president's remarks could further escalate tensions.
It plays into the hands of the Russian propagandists. and plays into the hands of Vladimir Putin.
Democrats stress it's up to the Russian people to decide who is in power and that the U.S. is focused on defending Ukraine against Putin's attacks.
He is depleting critical resources from his own nation for this awful war. So I just don't see how this ends well for him.
U.S. officials say Russian forces are struggling to make progress in the first month of the conflict, forcing them to scale back on their military goals. But there are concerns that battlefield failures will lead to even more aggression from the Kremlin.
There are no red lines for Putin and his cronies.
Ukrainian leaders say they are ready to negotiate an end to the war, but won't surrender. Peace talks between Russia and Ukraine continue this week, with negotiations taking place in Turkey today. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for 17 News.
Meantime, students at Bridgeview High School have created a GoFundMe page to raise money for Save the Children, benefiting that organization's Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund. So far, the students have raised nearly $900, and they're hoping to raise $5,000. You can find a link to their website on our website, kget.com.
521's your time now. Making news around the nation. New fallout and lingering questions following news that Virginia Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, supported efforts to keep Donald Trump in office after the former president's 2020 loss to Joe Biden. At issue, several text messages in the committee's possession sent by Virginia Thomas to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows in the months after the 2020 election. Thomas writing in one exchange, "Help this great president stand firm, Mark. The majority knows Biden and the left is attempting the greatest heist of our history." In another, Thomas quoting a passage circulating on right-wing media. Democrats say it's an unprecedented intervention. Justice Thomas was the lone dissent in a January Supreme Court ruling forcing Mr. Trump to turn over documents to the January 6th committee.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.